Hey, for this week's discussion, the article that I chose to look at was called Pharmaceuticals and Rivers Threaten World Health, and it was written by Jonah Fisher, and it comes out of BBC News. So the article basically just talks about how pharmaceutical products like paracetamol, nicotine, caffeine, and epilepsy/diabetes drugs have been found in waterways, and it points out some of the consequences of these being found in waterways. Like, for example, antibiotics that were found in these were leading to antibiotic resistant bacteria, so that just makes it harder for these antibiotics to work effectively. And so I found this article to be newsworthy because it's a serious issue that affects a lot of people, and it's a concern for global health. We have a very scarce amount of fresh water as it is, and so it's important that we keep the amount that we have clean and usable for as many people as possible. Um, and so it also found the article also talked about how it's going to mostly affect low to middle income families. So there's an aspect of environmental injustice to this article as well. The sender is Jordan Fisher. He works out of BBC News. He's an environmental correspondent. He's been working with the BBC for 10 years, and he graduated from Cardiff Journalism School. The BBC is a privately owned news organization, so it falls under the social responsibility model. So their main priority is to give information to the public and serve as a watchdog. I found that the article was mostly informative. It was basically just a reiteration of facts found from a peer-reviewed study, and when these facts were stated, they were cited by the they were cited back to the original study. I think there may have been a little bit of persuading just to really emphasize the consequences of what could happen if these waterways don't get cleaned up. The author mainly did this by providing direct quotes and attributing them to experts in their field. So an example that I brought up is that the author states that he says, this is most concerning because you have the most vulnerable populations with the least access to health care exposed to this being the pharmaceutical products in waterways. And he attributes the quote to an associate professor of emerging contaminants at UK's Birmingham University. So there were a lot of these types of quotes in there, just really there to build credibility and help drive home the fact that there's going to be consequences if the waterways don't get cleaned up. I found that the article was pretty accurate. Again, just because everything that the author was talking about was directly cited by the study, and it's a peer-reviewed study, and he mostly presents the facts, and so and when he does this, again, he cites it back to this peer-reviewed study. He links the study, and it's open access, so there aren't any paywalls that you have to worry about, and it's all there. The context that he provides when giving the facts are mostly background information about the various issues and a little bit of the jargon, but it's mostly in layman's terms, and he does it to drive home that there's a lot of potential consequences if a solution isn't found, and the potential people who are going to be affected, and it's mostly lower income countries. But yeah, that's all I have for today. Thanks.